Well, I tell you, they on Bill Cosby ass. Three more women have came out and accused Bill Cosby of drugging them and sexually assaulting them. I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys this article, and I'll come back with my commentary. At a press conference called by Gloria Allred on Thursday, three women added their names to the long list of Bill Cosby accusers, which now numbers more than 40. All three told stories of Cosby drugging and then sexually assaulting them. Janice Baker-Kinney says she met Cosby in the early 80s at a pizza party thrown by the casino where she worked. She claims he gave her two pills, which she took, only to wake up the next day in bed with a naked comedian who told her, "This is between you and me." Marcella Tate was a model who visited the Playboy Mansion with Cosby in 1975. After accepting a drink from him, she says he her memories got clouded, and she too woke up in an unfamiliar bed with Cosby naked beside her. Autumn Burns, a model and casino employee in the early 70s, says Cosby approached her at work and told her he could help her career. He allegedly invited her up to his room where he gave her a drink that made her feel woozy, then assaulted her. At the conference, Allred said the new accusers were coming forward in hopes that Cosby would finally take responsibility for his conduct towards women. Now, that's pretty wild, man. It's been a back and forth thing with this whole Bill Cosby thing. You got people out here saying he's a monster and he's horrible and he needs to pay for what he did. And then you got people out here defending Bill Cosby. And I think I did about 2 videos on this whole thing. And I made it clear, I'm not one to really rush and come out here and make tons of videos or even defend Bill Cosby because of certain things that he said and certain negative portrayals that he's spoken of towards the black community. Because I feel like highly too often we have people who will come out and defend certain black people and not remember things that they've done and they've said to hurt us. And just with that alone, I never really jump to come out here and really say too much about Bill Cosby. But it's a lot of women that are accusing this guy, and just like I've said in my previous videos, and I've sat back and thought about it even more. Oftentimes we get the images and the characters confused that we see on these television shows, and we somehow portray that as that individual person. That fatherly figure Jello pudding shit is not necessarily who Bill Cosby is. And let's just say Bill Cosby was somewhat of a I'm not gonna say he's a rapist. I don't want to put that out there because we don't know if these allegations are true or false. But let's just say someone was a perv. And he might have got into an altercation back in the 70s with a woman. Maybe he had a little too much to drink, she had a little too much to drink, things escalated, and maybe he got out of pocket, or the woman accused him. Maybe it was a consensual thing, but the woman accused him. And at the time, you got to remember, Bill Cosby was hot. He wasn't extremely big, but he had a little name for himself. The TV show was popping off and everything. He was considered one of the top comedians in the game. And a lot of times, whether you're right or wrong, these people rather pay people off to keep their mouth closed. And that might happen with one, it might happen with two people, because back then Hollywood was more secretive. Now you got social media, you do anything or you say anything, within 5 seconds it's going to be online, and everybody's going to have the opportunity to voice their opinion about what you said or did. But back then Hollywood was more, I would say, secretive. A lot of people didn't come out and always say certain things. So he might have been paying these women off, or paying one or two of them off, and the money slowed up. He said, what, it's been several years, statute of limitation is over. I'm not going to continue to pay you women. I'm not, whatever, whether it was 1, 2, or whether it was 5 of them. And they might have got upset about that and said, no, you abused me, you sexually assaulted me, blah, blah, blah. We want that money to keep coming in. And because he stood up and said, I'm not doing that, and this is all allegedly, I'm just, I'm just speaking what possibly could have went down. Because he decided not to do that anymore, they could have said, okay, you know what, we're going to bring this to the public. We're going to say that you did this and you did that, and we're going to paint you out to be this monster to make you keep giving us that check. And you might have had other women, because like I said before, if you got 5, 6, 7 women coming out saying one thing about a particular person, it makes it easy for other people to jump on the bandwagon, whether they have true allegations or false allegations. It makes it very easy for them to hop on the bandwagon and try to collect some profit. So you got all these other women that he might have not even had contact with, or had very small contact with, whether it was flirting, whether it was maybe a little fondling, whether it was maybe he got some oral sex, etc., etc. And you got them coming out saying that he sexually assaulted them, because what they figure is that there's powers in numbers, and they figure, okay, well, if we got 15, 20, 30, 40 women coming out saying that Bill Cosby assaulted me, he's going to be put under pressure to basically pay all these women off just to basically diffuse the whole situation. And I really think, it comes down to them just really wanting to, end this man's legacy, and Bill Cosby could have rightfully did all this stuff, and then he could be innocent. But then when you look at things from a historical point of view, you look at it from, a black male towards a white woman. Historically, we've had many incidents where black men were lied on, they were murdered, they were hung, careers were tarnished, etc., etc., all because of not just a woman coming out saying that they sexually assaulted them, or it was sexual harassment or whatever, but simply because it was a white woman. Because in society, white women are put on a pedestal. A white woman is easier to believe than any other woman of any other ethnicity, and even a white male. A white woman is always catered here in America. So when you look at it from a historical point of view, this could be one of those incidents to where, Bill Cosby is being set up. He might have pissed some woman off, or didn't give a woman, some play, because we also know, those who have studied their history, we know that a lot of times black men are looked at as, just a big black penis. Let's keep it real. And a lot of times people feel like they can approach us with sex, especially a white woman, and say, you know what, I want that black dick right now. We're just supposed to give it up within a snap of a finger, because that's all a lot of times people view us as, big penises and someone who can lay it down in bed. And a lot of times when you reject a white woman, they make up stories. They'll come and say, oh, he said this or he did this to me, and they're easily believed. So, when you look at this from all different aspects, like I said, Cosby could have done these things, and he could be 100% innocent. But the fact that you got 40 white women coming out saying that, Bill Cosby did this to me, he said this to me, blah, 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 it doesn't look good for Bill Cosby. And a lot of people ask, well, why haven't they locked him up yet? And it's because of the statute of limitation law. So really, these women have to come with some, strong proof that proves that this is what Bill Cosby did, because all this, crocodile tears and coming out here and saying, oh, he did this and he needs to pay for this, and, it's bullshit. It's not going to hold weight. And because it's been so long, even if he has done some of these things, where are you going to get your proof from? Somebody has to really come with some strong documents saying that, okay, I told this person, or I went to this doctor around this time. Show dates, show records saying that, maybe the doctor said, my vaginal area was abused, or I had this in my system, etc., etc. Somebody's going to have to come with some strong proof. But all this, well, he did this and these allegations and these crocodile tears. It's complete bullshit to me, because until somebody comes with some real strong proof, I can't throw you know this man under the bus like that, considering the historical background of the relationships between black men and white women. And it's been cats out here, even black men, that's been throwing Cosby under the bus. And don't get me wrong, this could be karma for Cosby. Like I said, I'm not a real big Cosby fan. I thought what he did with the Cosby Show was great. I felt like we needed that, but at the same time, I've never really been a fan of his show, and I've never really been a fan of Bill Cosby, considering certain comments that he made. Point blank, period. But I'm also not going to throw that man under the bus. Throw another black man under the bus for allegations, for he say she say type shit, considering the things that myself and a lot of other brothers deal with being accused for certain sexual assaults. It's easy to pin those type of cases on a black male. But I mean, we got cats out here, that's throwing them under the bus. Like I saw, Kenan Thompson, that's on what's that, Saturday Night Live now. I saw him on there, mocking Bill Cosby, and I was like, that's a shame. That's a shame that another black male will get on the show and mock him. But see, that's what some of our brothers do, and sisters. They'll get in front of a TV show or a camera, and because they're getting cut that check, they'll come out here and they'll coon, and they'll display certain negative stereotypes, and they'll throw another brother or sister under the bus. Also, they can get that acceptance, or they can keep that check coming in. So this is what some people do. But I mean, I lost respect for Kenan Thompson. I always, he always was kind of suspect to me, because he just came off as like, just just one of them coon and buffooning dudes that will basically do anything for the spotlight. So I never really rocked with him, and I didn't like how he somewhat threw Kel Mitchell under the bus. I didn't like how he did that, brother. But it was certain things about him that just rubbed me the wrong way. And they had Eddie Murphy on the show, and Eddie Murphy refused to do it, and I don't blame him. If I was some big time celebrity or something like that, and they asked me to portray in some skit or even just be a bystander with no speaking role, I wouldn't do it, because I know how dangerous that is to the images of black people out here in society. I know how dangerous it is. But I mean, I just want to, let everybody know about this, that, you got 3 more women, and one of the women are blind, and the minute I heard that, I was like, what the hell did you even see? You're blind. But, like I said, I think us as black people, we need to think hard and long, and then especially my black women out there, because a lot of times, you guys are, jump on the bandwagon of the feminist movement. You'll go after a brother, or accuse them of certain things, or join white women simply because you're a woman. You feel like, okay, well, I have to join that cause because that might have happened to me as a child, or it's just about women staying together and protecting our rights. And I understand it, but also you got to be very careful with aligning yourself with certain allegiance, because what happens is that you guys join those organizations. You jump on this feminist movement, and then when things happen to you in the media, nobody's nowhere to be found. Where are these women at supporting you? And God knows black women have things that they face day in and day out. But I don't see anybody protecting you guys. If anything, you got some of the brothers that's coming out here and standing up for a lot of the mistreatment that we see towards sisters. So just be mindful about joining certain groups, because they love when you guys jump on the bandwagon, because they need you for numbers. But when you have incidents, nobody's nowhere to be found. So just be mindful, and black people in general, be mindful of how we approach this whole Cosby thing, because everything is not what it seemed or it looks like.